And good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation Spiritual Institute. We're here again to share knowledge, and today is a very exciting day for us. I'll explain to you later on what is going on, and I think it will be a historical day for us as part of the Keshe Foundation, as one nation, one planet, one race. At the same time, our team at this moment of time is negotiation with the leaders of a nation. We wish him and the team the best of the best, that they reach a new understanding for the development of the Keshe Foundation in that nation. It's one of the most powerful nations on the planet, and our team has been in negotiation since early hours of this morning, and I hope we all give our souls to the team. It'll bring a major breakthrough for Keshe Foundation. He has brought, and I hope we hear a good news, or what is the next step in this development, which will bring a huge change to the structure of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. As we heard this intro, it brings a lot of things to us. It brings a lot of knowledge to us. It brings a lot of changing the taboos which the scientists never understood and brought to us. And we accepted it because we thought they know what they're talking about. And in fact, they knew nothing what they're talking about. It's just that with what I say, it brings me credibility and brings me whatever, and I'll be a good guy and intelligent. But now, as I said, the intelligence of you knowledge seekers surpasses many scientists and many of the leading, what I call, authorities in the world of physics and any other, because they read from the book which they copy. You understood the process of creation, and you're the master. One day he has to read yours, and then it becomes you're a student. So it changes the clothes of the monkey from one to another. In the world of physics, as the whole structure of this technology is based on physics, in a way how two things interact with each other, which creates a world of physics. We have a lot of what I call false belief accepted to be the true science, and with it we have made everything to confirm the fallacy which is brought in. In a way, as we are in the dimension of magnetic fields, as we are in the dimension of cosmic rays, as we are in section of understanding the knowledge of the work of the universe, one of the biggest taboos and one of the things which cannot be discussed, and billions of dollars has been spent on it, and in a way we all say yes, it's true, it's correct, because they've done this research, they've done that research. It's the fact about the light, the fields of the universe. If you listen to scientific papers and a lot of work of a lot of other scientists who never understood the true physics of the light, they tell us you cannot bend the light. And then they measure how light next to some stars bends. And then they try to prove it. But you knowledge seekers, with what you know, you understand from the book number 2 that the light is, or has two characteristics, is a photon or is a ray. And when it's a ray, because of the smaller, more powerful center, moves faster. And then in one point interacts and releases its energy, we see it as light. As a photon has a plasma inside it, which interacts with a planet, which is passing. So it creates what we call magnetic field positioning, and it bends it. But then, in balance of the fields of the universe, travels to destination, which is your eye, your equipment you're trying to detect. But this brings you to a fantastic point. If you know where I'm going, you travel to another position in the universe with a system, with your soul, which is a ray, or a system like UFO, which is a photon. And then what happened to you? Do you bend across every galaxy, every star, every planet you are traveling to? Or do you directly go there in a, what they call nowadays, for example, when you go from Beijing to New York, you go up, you don't bend anywhere, you land on the other side, an upper atmosphere or higher levels distance from the Earth. How does your soul travel? When you go to see the soul of the grandma, which was at the level of a very good lady, did a lot of good things and became a center of a star, beginning of a seed, some 50 years ago, and now it's the size of a, what do you call it, a football, and it's in its way to grow up to become a star as it gathers more energy. But you know, it's the soul of the grandma or your mother. How do you get there? Do you bend it like Beckham, or do you go to it directly? Does your soul twist and turn in the universe till you get there, like a Formula One racing around the bends of the course? And what happens if you lose control and you smash into the wall, or you end up in another galaxy around the universe? This cannot be, it's never happened, and it will never happen if one knows what is in the hand of the man. So, if you understand the process of the interaction of the soul, and you have to bend it to get there, and we see it, all the knowledge about the light travels on a straight line, goes right to the wall. This is important for you as knowledge seekers in the strength of dimension of travel in dimension of the soul or physicality. In the space travels of the future, with the structure and the systems we develop, in having a non-dimensional plasma reactors like a sun, and we manage to control them in a star formation position, which create literally 3 stars in the base and a star on the top, but no container, no reactors, but field forces of them, keeps the interaction and creates a dimension of the, what we call a space of magnetic fields, which you can live in as a, what we call UFOs. Then it comes for you to understand something important. Is or has or will your soul or your UFO of your creation by plasmas will bend, will dive, will go through? Would it travel on a straight line or bend somewhere when it needs to? Does your soul act as a ray and the UFO as a photon? And would the future of the man reaches the point to, in a way, collectively create interaction of the souls, which become one of the, what we call plasmas of a star formation, or collective transportation of the souls from one point to another, and maybe through the creation of that, carrying the soul of the others? Interesting point, as I pointed out to some scientists years ago, is the reactors inside a UFO, an aircraft, or whatever, are inside the system. They're not outside the system. In a jet plane, we see the what we call the jet engines and the wings. We know where they are because they are physically outside. But when you look at the structure of the what you call UFOs in the star formation, which many of us have seen it, when we look underneath, there are three lights in the triangular formation. They're inside. How come we see them from outside? How come we are aware of their manifestation there? What happens? And what haven't we understood about this? Maybe for the first time, you come to realize how come we see these lights not outside the structure, but they're inside the structure. And how come we are aware of their existence as a light? Do these systems have a containment, a reactor, which the fields goes beyond the boundary of the reactor and create this light? Or is a single plasma which has created this light? And in dimension of the dynamic plasma, it bends it somewhere, it connects it to somewhere else, and in some places needs to be delivering a straight, what we call field strength, move as a light. And there is no reactor inside. There is no containment. This goes back to some teaching some years ago, where I explained, and in the recent past few weeks, I explained the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers team are reaching a point of creating reactors without dimension. And we have seen it. We have seen in that interaction, without any motors, anything running, the weight of the larger scales moves up and down in kilograms, and some other points appears, and some other effects we see, and we can measure. This brings us to a point that in creating the new line of the interaction of the cosmic rays with these non-dimensional reactors within the structure of the soul of the man as a dynamic plasma, or as a flying unit, as you call it, UFO, what game would the cosmic rays play? Would we design, would we understand that these engines, these souls, can interact with two energies at the same time? Two line of reaction. And then it comes to understand furthermore that a straight line, what we call rays, is primarily made of hydrogen. And those lights, which are like a photon, carry carbon combination with the hydrogen, which is in a way carbon 14 or carbon 60 energy backtracking on the field of the hydrogen, and in a way has a higher strength. And when it passes the star, because of its gravitational magnetic field, it has to create magnospheric position or magra positioning. Then you can explain as a simple man, as a highest wife, or as a child in the school to your physics teacher, that the reason some rays bend around the planetary system is as they are part of the cosmic rays, and those which don't carry higher order energy with little field interaction, but all in the field the strength of the motion of the plasma. Once man understands this, then you understand why we see galaxies rotating and creating light, and all the light is not shine like a torch on Earth, but is dispersed across the universe, confirming the existence of a plasma which holds hundreds of millions of stars within it. One day man will understand. As we see the galaxies, as we see the solar system, like our solar system, with sun in the middle, but in its plasma, there are many bits called Earth and the others, and in a bigger dimension, we see the galaxies with hundreds of billions of stars within it. Once man educates itself and goes out of this universe in the part of Unicos and look back at our universe, you will see the same. A big dish with a lot of bits in it, and all emit light at a different field of strength that confirm the existence and the position of the galaxies, and God knows the whole structure within that universe. Nowadays, we look at our solar system, we haven't managed to get out of it yet fully to take a picture of it to see how it looks, but we take a picture of the galaxies and we see how they rotate and all those systems inside it. When a man manages in the coming time to go outside this universe, you will see the same structure but in a different dimension as of our universe within the Unicos. And then the fields of the light of what we call cosmic become what we call universal light, because these are the lights from the universes. It becomes a Unicos light. These lights are slightly different than the lights we are used to as cosmic ray. These lights are slightly different that we are used to as a light. Colors are slightly different because more magnetic field powers are in interaction than the weaker one. And then the enlightenment becomes totally different. Once man become the child of the universe as a Unicos, the level of understanding and the knowledge will change because a higher order intelligence, higher order fields come into play. Now, why I brought this subject up is because as many of you have started going through this, what we call dimension of the travel of the soul, which is yours, no one can touch, no one can control. You can donate it to anyone, you can become part of somebody else's field. We will observe, when we become wise to it, a dimension of the enlightenment and the light which we have denied ourselves. We shall see in the field. You shall see how the cosmic rays is absorbed by this body, by the soul, and how the soul travels in the dimension of the what we call the ray. Our physical dimension, as I said, absorbs 80% of its energy from environment, and primarily most of these are cosmic rays. They are photons, and they are not cosmic lights, which is singular in a field of strength with the central acceleration, which man has not managed to understand yet. But in some cases, when the cosmic rays become part you, then you understand how you, if open the dimension of the absorption of higher order fields, get enlightened. understand more. In a way, you are in a dark room and the torch is in your hand. If it's running out of battery and dim, you see very little. If you increase the power of the battery, you see more and the lights becomes more powerful and you see more of the room. What's in it? And you become aware of the knowledge of what you have in front of you. It's the same with the enlightenment. If you learn to absorb, you learn to switch the soul of the man with the light of the rays of the hydrogen, you will see more because it has no dimension. As long as you stay absorber of the what we call cosmic rays, which includes the carbon 14 and 60 and all these combinations, then you have that dim light. You are in a dimension of physicality. You are not clear to see the totality of the light, which comes directly from the soul of the Creator. The true enlightenment. And nobody can control your soul. Nobody can deny your access. Nobody, it's not for sale in the market. And as some people say, he's going to get your soul and he's telling you lies. The only lies you say is to yourself because you are the control of it. You have to decide the enlightenment. You have to decide how much of the information in front of me in this room I want to see and how much I want to make the light dimmer to, in a way, conceal my own ignorance and lack of understanding. Then, if you understood all this, you understand the lights, which is on the line of what we call hydrogen, the primary light, which is the light from the Creator, does not bend for nothing. No galaxy, no star, no universe, and no universe. And if you understand that, it means your soul is connected directly to the soul of the Creator in the line of the strength of his interaction and understanding of you from the dimension of your own existence. And then you substitute it by the what I call division of the division of the fraction of the division of the occlusion of the light which is started, you receive part of it as a connection to the soul of the Creator, as a cosmic rays to feed your physicality. Then you understand, if man reaches the point of purity, and if you manage to bring enough souls to collectively to interact, then you can make a UFO, which is destination would be the soul of the Creator. Then you will understand how to answer that professor from MIT, which light bends, which light goes straight. And the reason for it, and the sharpness of it, and the strength of it, and what it carries dictates how it bends, as the soul of the Creator never bends and carries nothing but the love of the Creator. This will come to bite you if you don't understand it and try to be the traveler of the what we call the universe and the universe. And the more you understand this about yourself, about your soul, that no one can control it, there are no prophets, there are no rabbis, there are no churches and mosques in the universe. And we have that as evidence that NASA, which we believe in everything they tell us, they've seen many galaxies, they found many stars and planetary systems, but none of them up to now have reported any churches or mosques and synagogues in the universe. So the fallacy of the belief has come with a man's lack of understanding of the creation. And this will bring man to the point of demise if man does not understand his own potential, his own connection to the line of the creation, and how much he likes to bend it to get there. But you have to understand, even the cosmic rays, If you go down the line, connect to the soul of the Creator, but in a less attachment, less carbon field strings attached. But you have to understand, now you understood about the soul of the man and the soul of physicality. In a space, you become aware of the same position, aligned to the soul of the Creator, and aligned to the interaction of the soul of the Creator with its own fields in the dimension of the fields of the universe, the dimension of physicality. In a way, I feed you from the center, but you can play and eat a little bit here and there as you like in dimension of physicality. Be it eating from the energies of the universe or the knowledge which has come from their interaction. As knowledge seekers, you, as I always say, you have no choice. If you are in a position and you're gradually becoming to the point of traveling without the physicality, which a number of knowledge seekers now report to us they can do, then you go to the next step of maturity. Try to connect to the line of the soul of the Creator. Then every knowledge in the universe is at your disposal. There is no limitation in the knowledge, and nobody can slave you or those who pretend to say yourself. Anybody who tells you they are trying to control your soul, it means I am trying to control your soul because they are making it free. As is said in the intro, you have to decide. You have to understand there is no possession and there is no control except your intelligence in understanding the truth about yourself and your creation. And this brings you to the next level of knowledge. And in the past few minutes, I explained in a soft way, but in the future, we go into it in much deeper way. How to understand what you receive as a line of the connection of the fields of the universe with your Creator, and how you receive the soul from the soul of physicality of the universe as cosmic rays to, in a way, confirm your existence in the dimension of physicality. In a very simple way, you're like that puppet in the show, held by two strings. And you're that puppet hanging on the bottom of that string, one which controls the head and the whole body, which is the rays to the Creator, and the ones which twist and turns your legs and body and arms to say, this is what I am. But in fact, the central beam holds you there to show you are there. And when the guy let the frame go, the puppet collapses on the floor. The end. And it's your job to keep that line of connection at all times. Does not matter in the dimension of physicality of the man, or the dimension of physicality on the moon, or a passenger of a space in the universe. You have to understand the difference between the two and keep that line, which is the line to the Creator and does not bend, always on focus. Don't believe none and don't trust none except your own judgment, because when you believe and you trust, you manifest yourself at that time and place and position in the dimension of physicality. Be it you going home while you're sitting in the office, doing the cooking, food ready before the physicality arrives, or going back to the point of birth and feeding the whole process of a womb of mother to birth tunnel and to be born and the whole rest of it. Birth in two dimensions and two directions. One, the birth through understanding the knowledge of creation, and one birth in understanding the process of physicality of birth in the dimension of this planet. One interesting point for many of you knowledge seekers and your children will be, Are there any delivery rooms in the universe to deliver your child? Or you have to go through the process of the birth in the universe, the same as your ancestors did, or the modernize in the hospital, which there is none in the universe. Then you can come to understand the children of the man in a space will be children of the soul, where the interaction of the fields of the emotion of the love of physicality and the love of creator in interaction with another of the same love and fields with a dimension of physicality will lead to the creation of new life without any delivery notes and without any delivery rooms, as it takes its shape and process of its creation in the dimension of the fields of the love of the two parents and the environment of the universe. Teaching the soul of the new infant of the soul of the man in the space will be very different than what we do on this planet. In the coming time, man will come to understand, as the speed of the process of knowledge is becoming faster, how one by one of you understands the dimension of existence of your own soul, using technologies which we have developed to, in a way, exercise and train yourself, that when you go outside, you don't become prisoner to no magician. And in any way, in the coming time, once man understands the interaction of the fields, and man stops killing, destroying another life, as he knows it itself can become part of it, a fool, as I always say, shoots himself in the foot and tries to win a marathon. This marathon, the winning point, winning post, is reaching the soul of the creator. And the man shooting itself in the foot is trying to stick to the dimension of physicality on the way, on the path of the cosmic rays. In the coming time, and especially in Sanya, we will show the difference in the dimension of these two rays. We bring into operation some of you who can reach or have reached that point will see the rays of the light as a ray which in a way is visible to your soul, and dimension of physicality cannot be manifest itself because it's too weak. And on the other hand, you feel the dimension of the field of the cosmic rays, that part of it might enlighten your soul, increases what we call field strength and bring you to a new dimension. We are a scientific organization and not rabbis and priests and mullahs and Mehdi and the rest. Everything has to have a scientific base. Everything has to be scientifically shown and proven, even though sometimes it might take a little bit longer than others because our scientists have to understand what the path is, and then even they understand it, they have to show it to you that your knowledge understands there is such a thing. And that thing is me. Next time, those of you who stand in front of the system in Sanya, don't look what's inside it. Look what you're absorbing and what enlightenment you receive. And how the rays which are near the field strength of the cosmic rays and the strength of the fields of the creator has enlightened you. If you come to Sanya and you try to see matters and materials, you're still doomed to the dimension of physicality. If you next time stand near these systems and look for enlightenment within yourself, then you understand you have become true knowledge seeker. Seeking knowledge for betterment of the soul of you and nobody else, as once you're enlightened and become knowledgeable in that field, you become part of the others, correct, just, and by the deeds of Mitra and Mer. And then you understand even how The what we call creation of the prophets confirmed the existence of the creator has become mysticism and the rest. Where the descent of Mehran became Mitra. And then in March of another, we became to believe in, and we converted in different names and shapes and forms to show how much we want to hide the beauty within us, which is in our soul. When you come to Sanya, when you stand in front of the systems and you look for materials, you look for weight reduction, not one thing. You have not become a true knowledge seeker. Because it's the story of the Maghreb and the meager electricity, or understanding within the system, you are enlightened to receive, to open your own soul to the dimension of the creation. And we are just the facilitators. We are just the teachers who knows how to bring the blackboard and the pen. And it's you who has to write the words, the sentence, and the knowledge on the board of your soul. And then you will understand. When you come to Sanya, as many of you did when you came to the first exhibition center in Linz, we put 3 stacker units, 3 vertical units, and some of you stood in the middle to see what you feel. This time when you come to Sanya, we bring you 3 systems. Stand in between. And then see what enlightenment you receive. What is set in the dimension of physicality of this earth, what is set to be the soul of the physicality of the man, and what operates totally in the dimension of the soul of the man. And then you decide what you see, what you understand, and how your intellect changes and evolves while in that area. We give you system headphones to connect to 1 or 2, but in a way, when you stand in between the 3, find out truly about yourself and see where in the dimension of universe you can travel to. What knowledge you'll see, and maybe some of you would like to see the soul of the Moses or Christ or Muhammad or whatever, or maybe even the soul of your future child, in what you are putting in. And would there be another which matches the love of you for the Creator? That's the time when you find a match, if the true lover is of the same essence. In the dimension of the soul, we don't fall in love with the physicality and with the beauty of the eyes and lips and how good you are in one thing or another, but we fall in love with the purity of the soul, how close is, how much has managed to unravel the secret of the closeness to the Creator. And that strength, if it's ours, we match. And a new child will be born, that in the future that child become better than you, to become closer to the Creator. That is the true heaven, and not what the man imagined. As I said, step by step, we teach without our knowledge seekers knowing, even our research team, preparing everything for that final point. Even they think they put something together, but they're working on the same course which is set. You can in different shape or form in lens, and you stood between the 3 static condition, just what the fields could flow. In Sanya, I put you to face your own soul, understand your own strength, and with it, change the future of your life by elevation and no slavery, and never accept no one's word about the Creator as you establish your own line of connection with the whole world of creation. The systems are very much dynamic, as is the universe and creation of the fields. Search in it for what I call wisdom, and don't come in it what I'm going to see. As long as you come, but don't forget, I'm a very good magician. I set up everything to distract you that you don't see, you don't understand it, what I call the process set up for you. I give you a system to make you gold, and I give you a system to make you gas, and I show you a system to make protein, and you get all baffled by what you see. But you know how the magician works. Distracts for you now to see the true magic. And this is what you look for in Sanya. And it will be the only time we'll show this till we'll see the full transmutation in the beautiful city of Isfahan later on this year. And then you understand why we invited you to China and why we brought you into the land of what they call yin and yang. Balance. For you to find a balance in your soul, that you're ready to go through the process of transmutation of your soul and not the dimension of physicality. As you decide on the point of arrival, what shape, color, race, language, and in which shape or form, as a cat, dog, matter of space, and maybe an alien. Now you walk to your child and look like an alien and tell your child, this is daddy. It's like, as you've seen many times, when the daddy shaves his beard and mustache, the babies don't recognize. And they have a problem to recognize this is that. And I wonder, when you manifest yourself in a dimension of the new physicality with your loved ones, like those babies sitting on the sofa watching you with a shaven beard and mustache, even inside is you, but the appearance is different and they don't recognize and they cry because you don't exist in that dimension. This will become part of your life. And in a way, when you appear in that dimension, whatever, you don't need what I call blonding your hair, shaving your mustache, the rest of it, and painting yourself a bit browner or whiter and keep on shouting, this is me. It's just I blonded myself and I shaven myself. Then the true, what I call witness, watch your nose, he changing the hair color, but the physicality, the soul is the soul. I know as dad, as a mother, as a friend. And then building a trust. And then understanding the totality. This is the transmutation time, not transportation time. And you have to understand transmutation does not always has to end up in the dimension of physicality unless you wish for. You transfer and transport your physicality, but you transmute your soul. And nobody's in control of it. Nobody's selling it, nobody's buying it, and all the rubbish you heard, they want to control your soul. Tell them you don't even understand what the soul is, let alone controlling it. And you're not connected to no one. There is no affiliation, there is no union, there is no faith, and there is nothing. And if you go back to the teaching of Mehran, was that way. And if you don't know who Mehran is, it's not me. Mehran is the forefathers of Mitra. The first time man ever believed in the belief of Creator. And he was there long time before even Mitra appeared. In another word, you know Mehran as Ibrahim. And Ibrahim in the Abrahism path of belief is Mehran in the culture of Iran, where Ibrahim was copied from. Ibrahim was copied from Mehran because every indication we have in history is the first path of belief, and the way it was set for man to manifest itself, believe in itself in the Creator and not any other thing. And those of you who understand the history of religion, you will understand Mir, the first prophet, the first messenger to understand the creation of the Creator, which then it became Ibrahim in Arabic language in the Middle East, is the beginning of the understanding the process of Creator. And now the same name appears, this time to show how the man not to make the mistakes of the past thousands of years. Name is not coincidence, but understanding the knowledge in a way to go back to the Creator is the same in essence of the knowledge and creation. But you have to understand how your fields work as a ray or as cosmic. Are you a photon denying the line of the light, the essence of creation which you are traveling on? Or you can detach yourself from the photon and become the light, which nothing can stop and never bends to no one, as is the will of the Creator. One day, in the very near future, as many of you are getting prepared and understand your soul, will take this step and bring us a lot of stories, as we did with you in Lens, and it's still going on. I hope I open your eyes to a new dimension, new understanding, and then you go forward with it to the next step, to the next understanding, and enlighten yourself to the truth of the creation and nothing else. Don't accept no one as a prophet. Accept your own understanding of the creation, which brings profit to you to understand your own Creator. We create the systems for you to do that. Sanya will be one of the most beautiful times when those up there will feel it, will understand how the essence of the three levels of the soul of physicality, and what they call the physicality, will manifest, interact with every part of you when you stand in the middle of the tree system. When I stood in front of our system yesterday, I thought I don't need to tell anything physically. I give the knowledge in the soul, and the soul makes a dimension of physicality. And it's wonderful how you transfer knowledge through the soul, and you see it in a physical dimension. And many of you will be amazing what will be shown in what I call Sanya. Next 2 weeks, if you understand it, otherwise you come to see a gas production and you come to see a metal production, then you say this guy knows something, and that shows your ignorance, lack of understanding of what we are about, what is about to happen. Or you come in there and say, I'm enlightened. I don't need to feel it. I just know the knowledge is transferred. And I've seen the light of my own Creator, understand the path to it. And don't need no religion, no prophet, and no Mehdi, and the rest of it.